Have you ever wondered if she's silently craving your attention? Most men never realize the signals women send, subtle cues that reveal more than words ever could. Here's the truth. Attraction doesn't always come with a neon sign. Instead, her body language does all the talking. Women are masters of silent signals. And if you're not tuned in, you'll miss the opportunity to connect. But when you learn to read her body language, everything changes in this video. We're uncovering the 10 key signals that show she's craving you without saying a word. 1. The invisible tie adjustment. It's subtle, almost unnoticeable, but incredibly telling. When a woman adjusts her clothing, tugging at her neckline, brushing her hair, or smoothing her blouse, it's not just idle behavior. It's a primal subconscious move to appear more attractive in your presence. Picture this. You walk into the break room and she adjusts her collar, tucks her hair behind her ear, or lightly touches her sleeve. Was she doing it before you arrived? Probably not. This is grooming behavior, a way of signaling notice me. The key is in the timing. If these adjustments happen after you step into her space or begin speaking to her, they're not random. These movements are a quiet but deliberate invitation to pay attention. To the sudden silence. Here's where most men get confused. Imagine she's the life of the conversation, laughing, joking, animated. But the moment you step in, her energy shifts. She becomes quieter, more reserved. This isn't disinterest. It's nervous excitement. When a woman likes you, she may suddenly become self-aware, cautious about how she's presenting herself. It's her way of saying, I care about how you see me. Think about this. Was she bold and loud with others, but softer and more composed when you join the group? That shift isn't accidental. It's her way of making room for you to lead the interaction. Recognizing this change sets you apart from men who mistake it for aloofness. 3. Fidgeting with objects. Her hands can't keep still. And that tells you everything. Playing with a pen, tracing the rim of a glass, or tapping her fingers on a table might seem like nervous habits, but they're rooted in something deeper. When a woman is drawn to you, her body produces nervous energy she can't always control. Fidgeting becomes her outlet, a way to channel that tension while staying composed. Pay close attention. Does she remain calm around others, but becomes noticeably more fidgety when interacting with you? That's no accident. Her hands are revealing what her words aren't. For micro expressions of surprise. Attraction isn't always loud. It's often written in microseconds on her face. When she sees you, her initial reaction might be a slight lift of her eyebrows, widened eyes, or a quick parting of her lips before she regains her composure. These micro expressions are impossible to fake. They happen instinctively before her mind has a chance to filter her reaction. Imagine walking into a room and catching her eyes lighting up for a split second before she looks away with a shy smile. That fleeting moment is pure, unfiltered attraction, and it's something most men overlook. 5. Exaggerated listening. When she's into you, she doesn't just listen, she absorbs. Her entire body becomes engaged in the conversation. She tilts her head, leans in slightly, and locks her eyes on yours, as if the world around you doesn't exist. But it's not just her body language. Look for how she reacts. Does she laugh at your jokes, even the bad ones? Does she nod enthusiastically or mirror your phrasing when responding? This heightened attentiveness is her way of creating a deeper connection. Imagine her sitting across from you at lunch, leaning in just enough to close the gap, her eyes fixed on yours. This is her body saying, I'm captivated by you. Now that these first 5 signs are subtle but powerful, but what's next? The final 5 signals take silent attraction to a whole new level. They're bolder, more intimate, and impossible to ignore. Let's keep going. 6. Playing with her drink or utensils. This one's so subtle, you might mistake it for random fidgeting, but don't. When a woman is drawn to you, her nervous energy often finds its outlet in small, repetitive gestures involving nearby objects, Picture this: you're seated across from her at lunch, and she's stirring her drink long after it's mixed, tapping the edge of her glass, or lightly running her fingers along her fork. These aren't idle movements, they're ways to channel the excitement she feels around you. What makes this even more telling is timing. If she stirs her drink when you're speaking, or her hands become more active when she's engaged with you, it's a direct reflection of how your presence is affecting her. Her body is speaking even when her words stay calm. 7. Hiding her hands, then bringing them back. Pay attention to her hands. They reveal her confidence or lack of it in the moment. If she starts an interaction with her hands tucked away, crossed arms, hands under the table, or clasped tightly, it's a signal she's feeling vulnerable or uncertain. But here's the shift you're watching for. As the conversation progresses and she warms up, her hands start to reappear. Maybe she places them on the table, starts gesturing more, or lightly rests them near yours. This transition from guarded to open body language signals trust and growing attraction. Progression is key. If her hands go from hidden to engaged, you're watching her lower her defenses, an unspoken way of saying she feels more comfortable and connected. 8. The toe point, where her body leads her attention. Feet are incredibly honest. While someone's face or words might misdirect you, their feet are a dead giveaway of their focus. Imagine her seated at a group event, casually chatting with others. Look down if her feet are angled toward you. Even when she's talking to someone else, it's her body aligning with her attention. Cross legs add another layer. If the top leg crosses toward you, it's a strong signal of subconscious focus. These small cues often go unnoticed, but they're incredibly revealing. Her feet are quietly saying what her mouth might be too shy to express. 9. The double glance. One glance might be casual, but a second glance that's deliberate. The double glance is one of the most unmistakable signs of attraction, yet it's often dismissed. Picture this: you walk into the room, and she looks up briefly before returning to her conversation. But then it happens. Her eyes flick back to you just for a moment. That second look isn't accidental. It's her confirming her curiosity, checking to see if you've noticed her noticing you. And here's the magic. If this double glance is paired with a soft smile, a subtle head tilt, or even a slight shift in her posture, it's her way of quietly inviting your attention. 10. Shifting her weight toward you. When a woman feels drawn to someone, her body naturally gravitates toward them. This happens in small, almost imperceptible movements, leaning slightly closer, angling her hips in your direction, or shifting her stance to close the physical gap. Imagine this: you're standing with her in a group. She starts the conversation in a neutral position, but as things progress, her hips turn toward you or she leans in just a bit, while maintaining eye contact. These movements are subtle but incredibly intentional. This is her body's way of bridging the space between you. The closer she gets, the stronger the connection she's trying to create. So now that you know the signs, which ones have you noticed before? Have you caught someone giving you that second glance, or suddenly leaning in? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear your experiences. And don't stop here. In the next video, we're going deeper into the unspoken ways attraction reveals itself. Hit that subscribe button and join me there. You won't want to miss what's next.